Good morning, you're tuned into Daily Coronavirus Updates. Today is the 16th of May and you're watching The Wire. Number of infections in India has crossed the 80,000 mark. Over 27,000 people have recovered and more than 2,600 people have died. Number of cases in Karnataka and Bihar has crossed the 1,000 mark. Delhi reported the largest increase in the number of infections after 425 new cases were reported. The total number of cases in the capital stands at 8,895. The global death toll due to COVID-19 now stands at over 3 lakh. More than a quarter of these deaths have occurred in the United States alone. Russia has reported the second highest death toll after the United States. The number of confirmed cases in Russia is over 232,000, the third largest in the world. According to a local media report, among the infected is President Putin's spokesperson Dmitry Peskov. He is the latest high-profile official to test positive after Prime Minister Mikhail Mishustin caught the illness. The first batch of COVID Kavach ELISA kits developed at the National Institute of Virology in Pune has been approved by the ICMR. These kits are manufactured by Zydus Cadila. According to an ICMR official, ELISA kits will be used in the Health Ministry's new nationwide Sero survey, which is meant to detect prevalence of antibodies that appear after a patient has recovered. The ICMR will lead the testing of 24,000 individuals in 69 districts at household levels as a part of this Sero survey. ELISA antibody tests are different from rapid antibody tests previously used by Indian authorities. WHO has called ELISA highly sensitive and specific tests that are suitable for testing large number of samples each day. Two health advocacy groups have written to the Indian government asking it to revoke patents given to Gilead Sciences for the drug Remdesivir so that it can be distributed more fairly to coronavirus patients around the world, particularly in poorer nations. To expand its access, Gilead earlier this week signed non-exclusive licensing pacts with 5 generic drug makers based in India and Pakistan, allowing them to make and sell Remdesivir for 127 countries. Gilead filed a patent application for Remdesivir in India in 2015, which was granted on February 18, 2020. The drug is currently in clinical trial stage and has not yet received marketing approval. Health groups say that pacts mean cheaper forms of drug may not become available in nations seen as non-profitable to the 5 drug makers. Drug patents in India are an important issue as many countries depend on generic drug makers to make and sell cheaper versions of critical drugs to them. So far, Remdesivir is the only drug approved to treat COVID-19 patients after promising early trial results prompted by US regulators to grant emergency use authorization on the 2nd of May. According to a study conducted by an international consortium, more than 580,000 planned surgeries in India might be cancelled or delayed as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. The study, published in the British Journal of Surgery, has projected that based on a 12-week period of peak disruption to hospital services, around 28.4 million elective surgeries worldwide will be cancelled or postponed. This will lead to patients facing a lengthy wait for their health issues to be resolved. A research network of over 5,000 surgeons from 120 countries focused on the impact of COVID-19 on surgical care. The Supreme Court on Friday rejected a plea seeking a direction to the centre to ask all district magistrates to identify stranded migrant workers walking on the roads and provide shelter and food to them before ensuring free transportation to native places. The court observed that it was impossible for courts to monitor or stop the movement of migrants across the country and the state governments should take necessary action in this regard. Stranded in several states after the coronavirus-induced lockdown, thousands of migrant labourers have been walking hundreds of kilometres on the road to reach home. Solicitor General Tushar Mehta noted that states are providing interstate transport to migrant workers, but if people start walking on foot instead of waiting for transportation, then nothing can be done. Since the nationwide lockdown was announced, as many as 400 migrant workers have died. At least 16 migrant workers who were trying to return home in Madhya Pradesh were run over by a goods train in Maharashtra's Aurangabad. Yesterday, 6 migrant workers were mowed down by a UP transport bus while walking towards Muzaffarnagar. The administration of Leh district in Ladakh has asked people returning from other states or union territories to pay for their quarantine facilities set up for them in the region. On the 12th of May, the District Magistrate of Leh issued a standard operating procedure that said that people arriving from other regions and who live in containment zones within the UT shall not be allowed to enter their villages under any circumstances. Following the order, the administration identified 16 hotels for quarantining people, and the tariff charges were fixed from 25,000 rupees to 3,000 rupees per day per person. Later, they also staged a protest and the police used force to disperse them. You can read the detailed story by Mudassir Ahmed on thewire.in. Doctors in Italy have raised an alarm over worrying spike in children getting sick with a rare but serious inflammatory syndrome that they say is tied to the coronavirus pandemic. A new study published in the medical journal The Lancet found a 30-fold rise in the number of cases of the syndrome in Bergamo province of Italy shortly after coronavirus pandemic spread to the region. The findings of Italian doctors is similar to the observations made in recent weeks in the United States. Doctors in the US are investigating cases of syndrome in at least 150 children, most of them in New York. The syndrome is being referred to as multi-system inflammatory syndrome in children, which resembles another childhood condition known as Kawasaki disease, which typically affects children under the age of 5. This disease causes inflammation in the walls of medium-sized arteries and can damage the heart. To read more about coronavirus-related stories and other news and analysis, keep reading and watching The Wire and The Wire Science. We will see you tomorrow. Until then, stay safe.